The title of this episode is like home buying for dummies, me being the dummy. With what's going on the last couple of years, just the things you can hear from afar, the rising costs and this and that, and you definitely shouldn't rent. And why not just rent? All these kind of things. How does a bloke like me even begin to approach the idea of buying a house in 2022? If I call you up, what are we doing first?
We are going to have you talk to a lender, because I feel like that is the one thing that really is going to help anybody out who is just starting the home buying process, because you need information. You might think you know how much you make because you have a job and you make this much money, and you know that you spend this much like on rent and credit card bills, but a lender is really going to like zero in on all of your finances and say, okay, yes, this is something that can happen this year, or this is something that can happen if you follow these steps. So you kind of need to get a plan in place. And that's what a lender is going to help you do.
I've never really thought of it in those terms. I've always just thought, well, I'm rich, I guess I can buy some property now, but a plan and looking to the future. So it's always not immediate. So if you're out there listening, you're like, yeah, me and my partner are looking to buy a house, or maybe just me, I'm looking to buy a house. It isn't immediate. It could be maybe a longer term process than people are prepared for.
I mean, it's very doable. Like it might be daunting thinking, oh, this is going to happen, but not anytime soon. But that's why, like, it's always good to make that first step and talk to a lender, or even talk to, a realtor, like, because we can obviously refer you to a lender. So we can like help you out too. But I feel like a lender is the better first step, because that's their wheelhouse. They talk numbers and they know the finances. I know that stuff too, but I don't know like how you would qualify for specific loan programs that you might want to do. So that's another thing that you just want to get that information.
Yeah, no, I get that. But that's it. That's fascinating, because I would just think it's a one-stop shop. The working in concert, agent and lender, that I think those are things that you heard as a kid. I remember when my parents bought a house. I remember all these terms, but I don't think a lot of people sit down and teach you this stuff there. This is why we have folks like you, Joey, and a great YouTube channel.
No, and that's something too that should be taught in high school. Like, there's so many things in high school that I think that we should have learned, and maybe they do teach that stuff in high school now, and I just don't know it. But like things I wanted to learn in high school, like how to fix the car, and how to buy a house.
Well, do you remember? I do remember in our day, and we're aging ourselves. Like, I remember in 6th grade, they had like 2 weeks where we learned to balance a checkbook. That's about and in 9th grade, I took typewriting. That's the only thing I remember.
That was the best class I took in high school, because if I did not take typewriting, I wouldn't be as good at doing this now, because I feel like that was the best thing that I could have learned.
Hey, you got to get that. You get that finger position, man.
Right. The home keys. Got to get on the home keys.
Home keys. You got to get those home keys. So if I go to you as a real estate agent, and seriously, hopefully one day I get to soon, and go call up Joey and say, hey, not just doing a lunch, we're going to go to your office here. What's the first question you ask me? How many comic books do you buy, Ken? Like, how do you approach
it?
Yeah.
I would approach it as, why do you want to be a homeowner? Why do you want home ownership?
That's a great question. What are some of the answers, without giving names? What are some of the answers you've received? Are there great answers, or maybe you should reconsider this?
I mean, I think I've heard a lot of really good answers. I mean, people just want to have pride of home ownership. Mm-hmm. Like, if you're renting, obviously you can keep your place nice, but you can't really do too much to it. If you have a house or a condo, you can fix it up the way you want to. You can knock out the kitchen and build a kitchen that you want. You can paint the house the color that you want to. Of course, you can paint walls and stuff if you rent, but it's just a different ballgame. It's a different feeling, like when you know that you own it.
Right.
You can do things like that.
An old handsaw has got a great tip. Plan to buy a house the same time as your wedding. Ask your parents for down payment as a wedding gift. Hey,
that's so true. Like, I've heard that so many times too. It's like, that's great. People should ask for that. Ask for a down payment.
Should you ask for a down payment? Start a GoFundMe for your dad. Yeah. Is there like one bad answer? Maybe it's even just horrendously comical. A bad answer of wanting to buy a home. Has there ever been a time where you're like, look, we may need to consider something else for you? Have you tried an apartment for rent?
There was there is one woman who is she's been taking care of her sick son, and so she was referred to me, and so I was trying everything that I could, referring her to the lender that I refer people to, and my lender, she couldn't help her out because she just didn't have a steady job. She's an artist. Yeah. She's a pretty well-known artist in her field, like she's a painter, but she just hadn't sold anything in a while because she'd been taking care of her son. And so it just got to the point she spoke with 2 or 3 lenders, and she just needed to work on art and sell some art so she could be able to buy a house, because she wanted to be able to have her son live with her. So that's what she had to do.
So noble intentions, but maybe not so much there.
It's heartbreaking. It's really heartbreaking because people
I got to imagine
a house.
Yeah, I've got to imagine if this is an actual, bona fide dream, and you got to. It's kind of like when people would tell us to get off the comedy stage, Joey. I wonder if they felt bad about telling us to end our dreams. I don't know. Mike, Vermont.
Maybe they should have told us that sooner.
Maybe they should have. I didn't want a neighbor on top of me increasing rent prices investment. What is?
Yes.
Is that something you're reacting to that there? That's something I've heard for years. Why throw your money away? And I said, I have an issue. One of the reasons I'm maybe not there mentally is I don't like the permanence of saying this is where I'm going to be for 30 years. I've moved a lot, and I'm one of those selves, but that's not necessarily the right reason. Talk about the investment side and the throwing the money away side.
Well, I love that Vermont Mike just mentioned that, because that was something I had written down too. Is homeownership is for savings. So when you pay your mortgage every month, you are essentially investing that money in yourself. Right. When you're paying rent every month, you're investing that money into your landlord's bank account. So you are not getting any return on that. So you want to start building wealth in the form of equity. And that's one of the good things that's going on right now, is that at least 60% of the homeowners now nationwide have, I believe it's almost 63% equity in their homes. And that's huge, because compared to 2008, that was not the case. And that's why they had that wave of foreclosures had happened, because people would cash out on their equity, and so they didn't have any equity left in their house. And then when the market tanked, they didn't have any choice because they couldn't make those payments.
Seems like some shenanigans going on there. We'll wait for
a little bit
for Adam McKay to explain it to us all again. This is fascinating stuff. No, and that's where here I am late in life, as you can see the gray of my beard. I think that's just the kind of stuff that wasn't explained to me. Other people might have had a different experience from their parents or those around them. That's not something that was explained to me, until later in life. Just the concept, it just seemed like, I don't know, you buy a car, you buy a house, maybe you get a guitar. It all kind of fell into the same thing, Definitely, but Trace says, I hated throwing away money on rent, same thing, and I wanted to play music loudly. I think that's a good reason too.